Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear brothers and sisters. I believe we are all fine despite our challenges and difficulties of life. We will not be crushed. The situation we are living will not take our life, will not destroy us. In as much as we believe in God and we keep praying that He have mercy on us and will give Him time. That is the reason why I want to share my reflection on time. Time. My time, your time, our time. Time in everything in life is all about time. And you know that we have mighty problem with this word called time. There is no time waits for no one. Everything passes, but only one person, only something is permanent. That is God. Life is passing. 98% of the problem that we have in this life is time. We don't give ourselves time. We don't have time for ourselves, and we don't give ourselves time. No, there are two different things. I don't have time for myself. Yeah. I don't take care of myself. I think the whole problem in life in this world is on my head. The whole poverty is in my head. The whole suffering, I am the only one suffering. So I don't take care of myself. I just allow myself to be looking so bad and all that. Once someone see me, say, oh, this person is really suffering. Do you know that people that will be suffering, but when you see them, you won't even notice it because of the way they take care of themselves. Meanwhile, there are people that are so rich with their money, but when you see them, you say, this person is really suffering. Without knowing is the opposite. So, do you give yourself time? Do you have time for yourself? Now, do you give yourself time when things are are going on in your life? Do you give yourself time to find out what is really happening? Do you take time to reflect on your life? Do you take time to reflect on how do you come out of this situation? Do you take time to ask yourself, how do I meet? How do I go? What will I do to better my life? Do you take that time? Do you give yourself that time? Do you have time for those around you? Do you have time? Do you give them time? Do you have time for God? Do you give God time? When you don't have time for yourself, it will be difficult for you to have time for others or even for God. When you don't give yourself time, it will be difficult for you to give time to others and even give time to God. Many problems we would have been able to solve in this life if we were patient enough to take our time to do things. We don't rush things. You know, when you rush things, you'll make a lot of mistakes. When you rush things, that is when you regret. When you rush things without thinking, without giving yourself time to reflect on how to do that, tomorrow you regret it. When you don't have time to appreciate yourself, when you don't have time to encourage yourself, no one can do that though. That is when you see people moving as in from place to place seeking for a solution. That is when you see people being depressed because they don't even have time to see those little things that are good in their lives. They don't even have time to appreciate God for those little things. They don't even have time to appreciate people around them for those little effort that they make. They're always busy. Do you have time for others around you? Do you give them time? They need you. They need your time. They need to talk to you. They need you to do something with them. They need to share their joy with you. Do you give them that time? No, you are busy. We are all busy running up and down. Meanwhile, the important things are left behind. You don't give them time even when they tell you, I want to speak to you. Even when they tell you, please, can we do this? Can you just listen? Do you create that time? Do you give that time for them? Or you are so busy? When you don't give time to people around you, sometimes they will have something that will help you out of your situation, but because you don't give them the time, the opportunity will be given to another person. Before you realize it, you say, had I known. To avoid had I known, why are we rushing things? Why can't we be patient enough with ourselves, with people? Do you have time for God? Do you give God time? I brought him last because that is the worst thing. We are so busy that we don't even have time for God. We don't even have time to appreciate these things that He does for us, for waking us up. We don't have time to even thank Him for our family members. We don't have time to thank Him for the air that we breathe, for at least getting one square meal a day. We don't have time to appreciate Him in others. God, I thank you for the life of the other person, for the good things you are doing for the person. We waste our time criticizing others, seeing evil with them, speaking ill of them, instead of using this time in the right way. We don't have time to thank God for the things that He's doing. We don't even give Him time. God will be using the situations around us to speak to us, using people to speak to us, but we don't give Him time. We don't have time to sit down and discuss our situation with God. We're always running up and down. I have something to do, I am busy, always with phone, things, always take our time, but with God, no single time. Do you know the situation that you would have avoided, the bad things that you would have avoided, the blessings you would have received if you created that time for God? No time that is spent before God or with God that is wasted. But no, we don't have time. We're always busy. Have you ever taken your time to say, Lord, I thank you for my life, despite that things are not going well? I still thank you. Because I know that I don't even deserve anything good. But you still love me the way I am. Thank you. We are so impatient that we don't wait on Him. We need everything to be done on our own way. We want to manipulate God. We want to control Him. We want to make things by all means. We want God to do what we want, as in want to command Him. We don't give Him time to do things on His own way. Remember, He's the owner of the universe. If he doesn't bless anything, if He doesn't bless you anything, you can never have it. Devil cannot offer you anything. All this intelligence that we not say Europeans, all this, their intelligence is from God. It's just that human pride, the pride in us, make us to misuse it, and that is, instead of creating opportunities for others to get better, we use the intelligence that we have to create things that destroy others. Time. There is time for everything. The Bible said there is time for everything. There is life, there is time to give birth, there is time to die. There is time to plant, there is time to record. How is it said in English? To harvest. There is time to build, there is time to destroy. There is time for everything. There is time to talk, there is time to keep silent. You know, it's not everything one says that you respond. Sometimes people say things, you know that this person is coming from somewhere, there is a hurt somewhere, important, and you react because of it. No, it doesn't want it. You have to take time. Does this person said, does it really need a response? Even though it pains you, take your time for something better. When we read John chapter 7, verse 40, if I'm not mistaken, where Jesus was supposed to have, verse 30. When Jesus preached in the gospel, they were looking for ways to kill him. John chapter 7, verse 30. Then they tried to seize him, but no one laid a hand on him, because his hour had not yet come. Because his hour had not yet come. They are looking for ways to kill him, to seize him, or to do everything to him, but he will just pass in their middle and go, because his hour had not yet come. Meaning there is time for everything. When it was time, they were able to hold him. He gave himself, he gave his life, because he said that I gave my life. It is my will. No one can take it away from me. He gave himself for us at the appointed time. You and I, are we patient enough to wait on God on the appointed time? Sometimes also it can be a hindrance that things doesn't come to us the time is supposed to come, because we doubting Thomas. We doubt a lot. We don't have time, that faith in God that He can do this. And God, we walk by faith. When you don't have faith, how can you receive what you're asking? When you are doubting, how can you receive it? Sometimes also, it can come from someone around us. We remember Daniel, When Daniel prayed and God answered his prayer, that is to tell you about time also. God answered his prayer and sent Archangel Gabriel to him. But the king of Persia, angel of Persia, hanged him, was fighting him until Archangel Michael came to liberate him. Continue the fight though. Gabriel have to come and deliver his message to go back. That is, there are so many things around us that could be a hindrance to our prayers if we are not careful. That is why you really need to give God that time. God, what is holding my blessing? God, is it my own case? I'm sorry. Is it I am fine because I'm sorry? If I am not the cause, there is something that's holding my blessings, please take it away because you are bigger and higher than every other situation. That is if you create that time for God. When the appointed time came for Jesus to be crucified, to go through his passion, his suffering and death for our sake, he gave himself. He has every authority to say no, but he had the authority to give himself, and he chose to save us. It was his own will, because he said that no one can take away our will from us. Whatever we do in this life is our choice. Sometimes we say we don't have a choice. We have a choice. It's our will that will do it. So I am talking about time. Do we really create this time? What you are asking God, are you patient enough to wait when the time comes, he will give it to you? Are you so in a haste? When you are in a haste, you don't receive it. You've made another plan and you've abandoned what God wants to do for you. You do your own wish. Tomorrow you regret it because whatever, we run after shadows. Whatever you decide today to do without inviting God, without waiting on God, it will not last. It will cause you more pains. So let us just try to create that time, to have that patience enough. Ask God, give me the patience I need to be able to wait on you. The patience I need to be able to listen to people. The patience I need, the time I need to be able to listen to myself, take care of myself, take care of those around me, and wait on you until the appointed time. Because he said that whatever he says, he will do it for you. But we are so much in a haste. Let us ask the Lord for this grace, because sometimes it's our nature that pushes us around. So that we will not keep regretting things. When the time comes, on the appointed time, when the day comes, the Lord will grant you your heart's desires. Only wait on him. Be patient. God will help you. God will help you and I. God will answer you and I. Because each person has a burden in their heart. Wait on God. May the good Lord bless you and grant us the grace that we need, so that we can be able to be patient enough and wait on him. Thank you.